Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. The story of the United States of America Kennedy half dollar 1776 to 1976 is one that begins with a tribute, evolves into a symbol, and today stands as a dazzling piece of numismatic history. This remarkable coin was created to celebrate the nation's bicentennial, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It was more than just money. It was a miniature work of art designed to honor the country's journey from its revolutionary roots to its modern strength. When the U.S. Mint decided to create a bicentennial design for several denominations, the Kennedy half dollar was one of the coins chosen to bear a special commemorative look. This decision was a nod not only to the importance of President John F. Kennedy in American history but also to the half dollar's unique place in the hearts of collectors. The bicentennial version would carry a reverse unlike any other seen before, ensuring it would stand out in any collection. The obverse of this coin still bore the dignified and iconic portrait of John F. Kennedy, sculpted by Gilroy Roberts. His calm yet determined expression symbolized leadership, hope, and the enduring spirit of the American people. For many, Kennedy's image represented progress, unity, and courage, making this half dollar more than just a monetary piece. It was an emblem of ideals. The reverse, however, was where the true bicentennial spirit came alive. Designed by Seth G. Huntington, it depicted Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the very place where the Declaration of Independence was debated and signed in 1776. This was not a simple architectural depiction. It was a window into the nation's birth, a reminder of the courage and vision of the Founding Fathers. Struck with the dual date, 1776 to 1976, the coin told a story of 2 centuries of struggle, growth, and achievement. Every time it changed hands, it silently spoke of history, liberty, and perseverance. For many Americans who received one in their change, it felt like holding a piece of the nation's soul. The Kennedy half dollar bicentennial edition was minted in both copper nickel-clad and 40% silver versions. While millions were made for circulation, special collector's editions were struck with higher precision and shine, making them treasured from the very start. Some were proof coins, with mirrored backgrounds and frosted designs that shimmered like jewels. While most circulated examples remain affordable today, certain rare varieties command astonishing prices among collectors. Errors, special mint marks, and pristine condition coins are the ones that transform from pocket change into prized possessions. One of the most captivating things about the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar is how it connects people to the past. Holding one is like stepping into a time machine, feeling the echoes of parades, fireworks, and patriotic celebrations from the bicentennial year. For older collectors, it brings back personal memories of that historic summer. Even the feel of the coin is special. Its size, weight, and smooth edges give it a reassuring presence in the hand. The sound it makes when gently tapped against another coin is rich and deep, unlike the lighter tones of modern coinage. These small sensory details make the half dollar an experience as much as an object. Collectors often speak of the thrill of finding a high-grade bicentennial half dollar in the wild. Imagine sifting through rolls of coins from the bank and suddenly spotting the distinctive dual date and Independence Hall design. In that moment, a simple search becomes a treasure hunt. The highest valued examples are typically those with perfect mint state grades, flawless surfaces, and sharp strikes. Some carry the S Mint mark from the San Francisco Mint, which is famous for producing proof and special uncirculated versions. In the right condition, these coins can rival even the rarest U.S. coinage in desirability. Adding to its allure is the fact that this coin bridges the worlds of history buffs and coin enthusiasts. Those passionate about America's founding find joy in its imagery, while numismatists appreciate its design variations and potential rarity. It's a coin that can spark conversations about both the Revolutionary War and coin collecting techniques. The bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar has a unique ability to appeal to people who may not even consider themselves collectors. Its design is so distinct that even casual observers recognize it as something special. Many keep one tucked away in a drawer simply because it feels too significant to spend. Over the years, public awareness of rare coin values has grown thanks to online auctions and social media. As more people learn about how valuable certain coins can be, the hunt for exceptional bicentennial halves has intensified. Stories of lucky finds have fueled a new wave of treasure seekers. One reason this coin can reach such high values is the challenge of finding it in untouched condition after decades. Time, circulation, and handling have worn down most examples, leaving only a small number of survivors with their original luster intact. There are also rare die varieties, coins struck with subtle differences caused by variations in the minting process. For the experienced collector, spotting one of these varieties is like uncovering a hidden signature from history. For many, the journey to own a perfect 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar becomes a lifelong pursuit. It's not just about the monetary value, it's about achieving the thrill of completion, holding something few others possess, and knowing you have preserved a piece of American heritage. In the world of coin shows, this coin often draws crowds. Under the bright lights of display cases, its details come alive. Collectors gather to compare notes, share stories, and admire exceptional specimens, each with its own unique path through history. The coin's popularity has also made it a favorite teaching tool for introducing younger generations to numismatics. Parents and grandparents often pass one down to spark curiosity about both history and collecting. It's a small object that can ignite a lifelong passion. While the bicentennial celebration has long passed, the Kennedy half-dollar remains a permanent reminder of that momentous anniversary. In an age where so much history is experienced through screens, holding a tangible artifact from 1976 feels deeply grounding. Its large size makes the design details easy to admire, from the delicate lines of Independence Hall to the proud lettering of United States of America. The craftsmanship speaks of a time when even everyday coins were treated with artistic care. In many ways, the coin's story mirrors America's own journey. Born of revolutionary ideals, shaped by moments of triumph and challenge, and preserved by those who understand its worth, it stands as a symbol of endurance. Collectors agree that while the Kennedy half-dollar's intrinsic metal value is modest, its historical and collectible value is immeasurable. Its beauty lies in both its artistry and its story. Auction houses have witnessed bidding wars over the finest examples, with determined collectors pushing prices higher and higher in pursuit of the best. Even if you never sell one, owning a piece like this brings a certain pride. It connects you to a vast network of history lovers and treasure seekers who understand the magic of coins. From the bustling mint floors of 1976 to the velvet-lined display cases of today, this coin's journey is as captivating as the nation it celebrates. And for the truly exceptional examples, those rare, flawless, and historically significant specimens, the value can reach a jaw-dropping $190,000. Top 2. The United States of America Kennedy half-dollar from 1971 is more than just a piece of currency. It's a chapter in the country's numismatic history that captures a turning point in the nation's coinage. Introduced just a few years after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the half-dollar had already become a symbol of respect, unity, and American pride. But 1971 marked a unique year, both in design legacy and in a major change to its composition. The Kennedy half-dollar had been first struck in 1964, replacing the Franklin half-dollar, and it immediately became a favorite among the public. In its earliest years, the coin was made of 90% silver in 1964, then reduced to 40% silver from 1965 through 1970. But by 1971, the U.S. Mint removed silver from the design entirely for circulation strikes, opting instead for a copper-nickel-clad composition. This shift was a direct response to rising silver prices and the increasing cost of producing coins. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar's obverse still displayed the dignified profile of John F. Kennedy, created by Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts. The portrait is timeless, Kennedy's hair windswept, his gaze forward, exuding both hope and determination. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, featured the presidential seal, an eagle with a shield on its chest, olive branch and arrows in its talons, encircled by 50 stars. It's a design full of symbolism, reflecting strength, readiness, and peace. For many Americans in 1971, seeing this coin in their change was a reminder of the late president's ideals and the nation's resilience during turbulent times. Even though the composition had changed, the meaning remained intact. It was not simply a monetary object, it was a commemorative piece in everyday use. The 1971 issue was minted in large numbers at both the Philadelphia Mint, No Mint Mark, and the Denver Mint, D Mint Mark. The San Francisco Mint struck special proof versions for collectors, some of which are among the most sought after today. The removal of silver meant these coins were more accessible for the public to spend and collect, but also meant their intrinsic metal value was lower than earlier years. However, within the millions of 1971 half-dollars struck, there exist rare and valuable varieties that make collectors' hearts race. Errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on silver planchets intended for 1970 issues can turn an ordinary 50-cent piece into a high-value treasure. The thrill of finding one of these rare variations is part of what drives collectors to examine every detail. A seemingly ordinary 1971 half-dollar from a roll or old jar can, in the right condition and with the right characteristics, be worth far more than its face value. One of the most famous and valuable errors of this year is the 1971 D struck on a 40% silver planchet, a leftover from the previous year's production. These are incredibly scarce and highly prized in the numismatic market, especially in uncirculated grades. Even without errors, high-grade examples, especially those graded mint state 67 or higher, are rare. Most coins entered circulation quickly and saw years of handling, leaving them with scratches, dull luster, and wear. Uncirculated examples with sharp strikes and gleaming surfaces are the ones collectors compete for. In coin shows and auctions, the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar often draws crowds because of its combination of historical significance and potential rarity. Collectors examine every letter, star, and feather detail for signs of sharpness, as well as any hint of a minting anomaly. The fact that 1971 was the first year without silver for circulating Kennedy halves adds to its historical interest. It marks a turning point in U.S. coinage when silver was largely removed from everyday money, signaling a shift in the nation's monetary policy. The large, bold design of the half-dollar makes it a pleasure to view under magnification. The intricate feathers of the eagle, the crisp lettering of United States of America, and the fine details in Kennedy's profile all speak to the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint's engraving team. For many collectors, a complete Kennedy half-dollar set must include a high-quality example from 1971, not just for the sake of completeness, but because it represents the beginning of a new era in U.S. coin production. Even casual collectors often keep a 1971 Kennedy half-dollar as a keepsake, passed down from family members or found in old coin jars. It's a coin that feels substantial in the hand, with its wide diameter and weight giving it a satisfying presence. Over the decades, its value in most cases has remained modest, but the discovery of rare variations has fueled a new wave of interest. Stories of people finding valuable 1971 halves and change or coin rolls have spread widely, sparking excitement among both veteran and beginner collectors. It's also a coin that can inspire conversations about history, economics, and even metallurgy. The change from silver to copper-nickel reflected not just the price of silver, but also broader changes in the economy and minting priorities. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar is, in many ways, a coin of transition. It holds one foot in the tradition of precious metal coinage and another in the modern era of base metal currency. This dual identity adds depth to its appeal. Those who specialize in Kennedy halves often spend years searching for the perfect example, a coin that is flawless to the eye, gleaming with luster, and free from even the tiniest blemish. These top-tier coins often become the centerpiece of a collection. Proof versions from San Francisco, especially those with deep cameo contrast, are dazzling to behold. The mirrored fields and frosted devices create a stunning visual effect that makes them stand out from regular circulation strikes. For the dedicated treasure hunter, coin roll searching remains a thrilling way to find a hidden gem. The possibility of uncovering a rare error or high-grade 1971 half-dollar keeps the hobby alive with anticipation. The Kennedy half-dollar has always been more than a coin. It's a symbol of honor for a president who left a lasting legacy. The 1971 issue carries that symbolism forward, while also marking a major shift in U.S. coinage history. Collectors know that rarity, condition, and demand are the three pillars of coin value. In the case of the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, the right combination of these can transform it into a truly remarkable find. Auction records show that when a perfect or rare variety surfaces, it can ignite bidding wars, driving prices far beyond what most people imagine for a coin minted in such high numbers. The journey from the minting presses of 1971 to today's collector market is a fascinating one. Every surviving coin carries with it the story of where it's been, who's held it, and how it's been preserved. And while many 1971 Kennedy half-dollars will forever remain common pocket change, there are a few extraordinary examples whose worth reaches an astounding $145,000. Top 3. The United States of America Kennedy half-dollar from 1973 is a fascinating coin that blends patriotic symbolism, historical significance, and a touch of mystery for collectors. Introduced less than a decade after the tragic loss of President John F. Kennedy, this coin carried his legacy forward with pride, but in 1973, it came with a special twist, one that has intrigued numismatists for decades. By the time 1973 arrived, the Kennedy half-dollar had already become a staple of U.S. coinage. First issued in 1964, it replaced the Franklin half-dollar, and immediately captured the hearts of Americans who saw it as a tribute to a beloved leader. The design was a partnership between Gilroy Roberts, who created the obverse portrait of Kennedy, and Frank Gasparo, who designed the reverse presidential seal. The obverse shows Kennedy in a left-facing profile, hair flowing, his expression steady and forward-looking. The reverse features the heraldic eagle from the Great Seal of the United States, clutching arrows and an olive branch, encircled by 50 stars to represent the states. This powerful combination made the coin not just currency, but a patriotic emblem. The 1973 issue, however, was different from most years in one critical way: it was not released for general circulation. Unlike earlier or later dates, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was struck exclusively for collector sets and proof sets, meaning most Americans never saw one in their pocket change. This limited distribution is one of the reasons the coin has always held a special place in the series. Minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, these coins came in two primary forms: uncirculated mint set versions from Philadelphia and Denver, and proof coins from San Francisco. The San Francisco proofs were especially prized for their mirror-like fields and frosted devices, giving the design a jewel-like appearance. Because they were intended for collectors, most 1973 Kennedy half-dollars were well preserved from the start. They were carefully stored in original packaging, protected from the wear and tear of everyday use. This means that even today, it's possible to find examples with beautiful luster and sharp details. But as with many coins, it's the rare errors and unique conditions that make some 1973 half-dollars worth a small fortune. Striking anomalies, die varieties, or coins accidentally minted on the wrong planchet have been known to surface, and when they do, collectors eagerly compete to acquire them. The rarity factor of the 1973 issue is amplified by the fact that its mintage numbers were far lower than typical circulation years. This alone makes it a key date for Kennedy half-dollar enthusiasts, especially those building complete date and mintmark sets. For collectors, the thrill often lies in hunting for the highest grade examples. In the world of professional coin grading, a coin's value can skyrocket if it earns a near-perfect score. Flawless proof strikes with deep cameo contrasts are particularly desirable, as they showcase the artistry of the design to its fullest. The difference between a common example and an extraordinary one is often found under magnification. Collectors look for crisp hair strands in Kennedy's portrait, full detail in the eagle's feathers, and perfect clarity in the lettering. Even the tiniest flaw can affect value, making the search for perfection both challenging and rewarding. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar also tells a story about the culture of coin collecting in the 1970s. At the time, coin collecting was booming, and the U.S. Mint catered to that enthusiasm by offering special sets that allowed people to own pristine examples of each year's designs. The decision to withhold the 1973 half-dollar from general circulation only increased its mystique. Because they were not part of everyday commerce, these coins were often treasured as keepsakes rather than spent. Many remained in families for decades, passed down as mementos of the era. Some were tucked away and forgotten, only to be rediscovered years later in surprisingly pristine condition. The lack of circulation also means that any 1973 half-dollar found in everyday change today would be an unusual and exciting find. Such a discovery would likely mean the coin had been accidentally released from a collection at some point. For those who collect Kennedy halves by year, the 1973 issue represents both a challenge and a milestone. Its scarcity relative to other dates means that completing a set without it leaves a noticeable gap. This drives strong demand whenever high-grade examples appear on the market. Auction houses have reported spirited bidding for top-quality 1973 Kennedy half-dollars, especially proof coins with the highest grading certifications. These coins are not just bought, they're won in competitive battles among dedicated collectors. It's not just the scarcity that drives interest, but the design itself. Even though the Kennedy half-dollar has been in production for decades, the 1973 issue retains a freshness and beauty that appeals to both seasoned numismatists and newcomers alike. Handling one of these coins is an experience in itself. The large diameter and weight give it a presence that smaller coins can't match. When viewed under bright light, the details come alive: the shine of the metal, the intricate lines in Kennedy's hair, and the commanding eagle on the reverse. Proof examples from San Francisco are especially mesmerizing. The deep, reflective surfaces contrast beautifully with the frosted design elements, creating a three-dimensional effect that almost seems to lift Kennedy's profile off the coin. Even uncirculated mint-set examples from Philadelphia or Denver have a distinct charm, with their original luster shimmering like they just left the press. Collectors who acquire these coins often place them in protective holders to preserve their beauty for generations to come. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar also reflects the shifting priorities of the U.S. Mint in the early 1970s, when coin production was increasingly tailored toward collectors rather than just fulfilling commerce needs. This focus on quality and presentation helped cement the Kennedy half-dollar's role as both currency and collectible. Numismatics is as much about stories as it is about metal, and the 1973 issue has a story worth telling. It's about a coin made to honor a president, reserved for collectors, and cherished for decades. It's about scarcity, beauty, and the enduring power of history captured in a single piece of currency. Whether you're a dedicated Kennedy half-dollar specialist or a casual admirer of U.S. coinage, the 1973 issue offers something special. It's a coin that invites admiration, study, and, for the lucky few, ownership. And for those exceptional specimens, those rare, flawless, and historically significant examples preserved in perfect condition, the value can reach an incredible $135,000. Top 4. The United States of America Kennedy half-dollar from 1981 is a remarkable coin that reflects not only the beauty of American coinage, but also the lasting tribute to one of the nation's most beloved presidents. Struck nearly 2 decades after John F. Kennedy's passing, the 1981 issue stands as a continuation of the tradition that began in 1964, a tradition rooted in respect, symbolism, and artistry. By 1981, the Kennedy half-dollar had long since shifted from its original silver composition to the copper-nickel-clad metal used in most modern U.S. coins. This change, made in 1971, was necessary due to rising silver prices, but it didn't diminish the public's admiration for the design. The obverse still featured Gilroy Roberts' dignified portrait of Kennedy, capturing his youthful energy and vision for the country. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's majestic presidential seal remained unchanged, a proud eagle clutching an olive branch and arrows, framed by 50 stars. This timeless design symbolized America's strength, readiness to defend itself, and commitment to peace. Together, the two sides of the coin formed a lasting emblem of leadership and unity. The 1981 Kennedy half-dollar was produced at 3 mints: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark. While the Philadelphia and Denver coins were intended for circulation, the San Francisco Mint produced proof versions specifically for collectors, featuring mirror-like surfaces and frosted designs that gave the coin a brilliant, almost jewel-like appearance. One unique aspect of the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar is that it marked the final year the coin was struck for circulation in significant quantities before the U.S. Mint greatly reduced half-dollar production for everyday use. By the mid-1980s, the coin had all but disappeared from daily transactions, making these earlier dates increasingly appealing to collectors. For many Americans in 1981, the half-dollar was already becoming less common in pocket change, which meant that people were more likely to save them than spend them. Some were kept in albums, while others were tucked away in drawers, preserved for years without significant wear. Although the majority of 1981 half-dollars are worth only a small premium over face value, certain rare varieties and exceptionally well-preserved examples have proven to be highly valuable. Error coins, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or those struck on the wrong planchet, are especially prized by numismatists. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services can also command impressive prices. Coins graded mint state 67 or higher are scarce, as even minor imperfections from the minting process or handling can reduce a coin's grade and therefore its value. Proof coins from San Francisco are another highlight of the 1981 series. Collectors seek out deep cameo proofs, where the frosted design stands out sharply against the mirrored background. These coins, when perfectly preserved, are considered miniature works of art. The thrill of finding a rare or pristine 1981 half-dollar keeps coin roll hunters and collectors searching through bank rolls and inherited collections. Every now and then, a coin surfaces that surprises even seasoned experts with its quality or unusual features. Beyond the collecting aspect, the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar holds a certain nostalgic charm. It represents a time when the coin was still seen in circulation, when receiving one in change felt special, and when its larger size made it stand out from smaller denominations. The Kennedy half-dollar's physical presence is one of its enduring attractions. Measuring 30.6 millimeters across, it's one of the largest circulating coins in modern U.S. history, giving the design plenty of room to shine. The weight and size make it feel substantial in the hand, a satisfying reminder of classic coinage. For some collectors, the 1981 issue is part of a larger effort to complete a full set of Kennedy halves by date and mintmark. The series has become one of the most collected in U.S. history, appealing to both beginners and experts thanks to its blend of historical significance and attainable starting points. The coin's design has also made it a favorite for educational purposes. Teachers and parents often use Kennedy half-dollars to introduce children to coin collecting, teaching them about history, minting, and the importance of preserving artifacts. While the obverse and reverse designs remained consistent in 1981, the mints were still capable of producing subtle differences in strike quality, luster, and appearance. These small variations are what make certain coins from the year stand out in the numismatic world. Auction results over the years have proven that the right combination of rarity, condition, and demand can make a 1981 Kennedy half-dollar worth far more than most people imagine. It's a reminder that even relatively modern coins can achieve impressive market values under the right circumstances. Collectors who own a high-quality 1981 half-dollar often store it in protective holders to prevent damage. Coins of this caliber are not only valued for their monetary worth but also for their role in preserving a piece of American history. It's also worth noting that 1981 proof sets, which contain the San Francisco version of the coin, are popular purchases among collectors. These sets often remain intact for decades, but sometimes individual coins are removed and sold separately when their quality is exceptional. The Kennedy half-dollar has always been more than just a coin. It's a lasting memorial to a president who inspired a nation. The 1981 issue carries that legacy forward, serving as a bridge between the coin's early years and its modern role as a collector favorite rather than a workhorse of commerce. Even today, finding a perfect example from this year can be a challenge. The search requires patience, knowledge, and sometimes a bit of luck, but for many collectors, that pursuit is part of the hobby's appeal. When viewed under a magnifying glass, a well-struck 1981 half-dollar reveals an incredible level of craftsmanship, from the fine lines in Kennedy's hair to the intricate details in the eagle's feathers. These elements speak to the artistry and skill of the U.S. mint engravers. In the world of numismatics, coins like the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar show that history, design, and condition all play vital roles in determining value. This is why even a relatively modern date can reach extraordinary heights in the right form. Whether it's found in a proof set, pulled from a roll, or handed down through family, the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar remains a cherished piece for collectors and history enthusiasts alike. It's a coin that represents both the past and the enduring nature of American coinage. And for those rare, flawless, and historically significant examples that stand above the rest, the value can soar to an astounding $115,000. Top 5. The United States of America Kennedy half-dollar from 1992 is a coin that holds a fascinating place in the modern era of American numismatics. Even though it may seem like a relatively recent date, it carries a charm, significance, and collectability that continues to attract coin enthusiasts around the world. It's not just a piece of change, it's a reflection of history, artistry, and the enduring legacy of President John F. Kennedy. By 1992, the Kennedy half-dollar had already been in production for nearly 3 decades. First introduced in 1964 to honor the late president, it replaced the Franklin half-dollar and quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. Its design, created by Gilroy Roberts for the obverse and Frank Gasparo for the reverse, had become iconic, symbolizing leadership, patriotism, and the American spirit. The obverse shows the familiar left-facing portrait of President Kennedy, his hair flowing with lifelike detail, and his expression calm yet determined. It's an image that captures both his charisma and his commitment to public service. On the reverse, the bold and majestic presidential seal stands out, an eagle clutching an olive branch and arrows, surrounded by 50 stars that represent the unity of the states. By the early 1990s, the Kennedy half-dollar was no longer a common sight in circulation. Production continued, but most coins were made for collectors rather than for widespread everyday use. This was especially true for certain special editions, like proof and silver-proof versions struck at the San Francisco Mint. The 1992 Kennedy half-dollar was produced at 3 mints: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were copper-nickel clad and mainly found in mint sets. The San Francisco Mint produced 2 types of proof coins, one in copper-nickel and another in 90% silver. This marked an important milestone, as the U.S. Mint had resumed producing silver-proof half-dollars in 1992 after a long absence. The reintroduction of silver-proofs brought excitement to collectors, as these coins combined the beauty of the Kennedy design with the traditional metal once used in earlier issues. The silver proofs were struck with meticulous care, producing mirrored fields and frosted devices that gave them an almost sculptural appearance. Because the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar wasn't widely circulated, many examples remain in pristine condition today. However, that doesn't mean they're all equal in value. Exceptional quality, flawless surfaces, and rare variations can transform a seemingly ordinary coin into a sought-after treasure. Era coins are especially intriguing for this year. Examples struck on wrong planchets, double dies, or with striking misalignments can be worth many times their face value. These rare occurrences happen when the minting process experiences a brief mistake, and collectors are always on the lookout for them. High-grade examples, especially those graded mint state 69 or proof 70 by professional grading services, are among the most desirable. Achieving such a grade means the coin is essentially perfect under magnification, with no visible flaws to the naked eye. The thrill of owning a perfect or rare 1992 Kennedy half-dollar comes not only from its value but also from the satisfaction of preserving a piece of numismatic history. Collectors take pride in knowing they hold a coin that stands out among millions produced. The physical feel of the Kennedy half-dollar adds to its appeal. Its large size, weight, and bold design make it a standout in any collection. Whether in clad or silver, it has a presence that smaller coins simply can't match. For many collectors, the 1992 issue is part of a larger journey to assemble a complete set of Kennedy half-dollars by year, mint mark, and composition. Because of the silver proof's return, this year becomes a highlight in such a collection. The reintroduction of silver also serves as a nod to the coin's past, when half-dollars contained precious metal and carried both monetary and intrinsic value. This connection between history and modern production is one of the reasons the 1992 silver proof is so beloved. When viewed under a bright light or magnification, the details of the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar truly shine. From the intricate feathers of the eagle to the fine strands of hair on Kennedy's head, the craftsmanship is a testament to the skill of U.S. mint engravers. Auction houses have seen intense bidding for the highest quality examples of the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar, especially deep cameo silver proofs in perfect condition. These coins not only appeal to Kennedy series specialists but also to collectors of modern U.S. proofs in general. The coin's limited appearance in circulation means that finding one in change today is highly unlikely. Most examples have been kept in protective holders since the year they were struck, preserving their condition for decades. Numismatic interest in the 1992 issue also comes from the fact that it bridges two worlds: the modern minting era of base metal coins and the historical tradition of silver coinage. This dual identity gives it a special place in the series. For beginners, the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar offers an accessible entry point into coin collecting. For advanced collectors, it offers the challenge of securing the rarest, highest-grade examples, including those with unusual errors. In coin shows and collector gatherings, the 1992 half-dollar often sparks conversations about the evolution of U.S. mint practices, the reintroduction of silver proofs, and the enduring popularity of the Kennedy series. Its popularity shows no signs of fading. Even as decades pass, the coin continues to draw interest from people of all ages who admire its beauty, history, and connection to a remarkable era in American history. The Kennedy half-dollar has always been more than a simple 50-cent piece. It's a piece of art, a memorial, and a snapshot of the nation's story. The 1992 issue, with its unique role in the series, embodies all of these qualities. Whether in brilliant uncirculated clad form or as a gleaming silver proof, the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar remains a coin that collectors treasure, not only for its beauty but also for its meaning, and for those rare, flawless, and historically significant examples that stand apart from the rest. The value can reach an impressive $75,000.